is interested in growing some potatoes in Florida. So if anybody else has moved to Florida and you're thinking you want to try spuds, maybe I can help you out a little bit because I struggled and struggled and struggled and struggled until finally this year, right. Um, Thanks to the help of watching the video creators like David the Good and Homestead Heart, Deep South Homestead, I think is what Danny and Wanda's thing is called. Um, anyway, I'm gonna put these over here. But this was my harvest. I didn't go whole hog and get a whole bunch of seed potatoes. I just did some. And then I went ahead and I could have left them out there longer so I'd get more potatoes. But we've been having rain. Noticing that the stalks were starting to turn mushy. Kind of like celery does when it turns all brown in the refrigerator and it just gets all gross. Okay, so that's what potatoes will do when their stalks are just, they're getting too much water. Because like I said, we've been having an inch a day. Okay, so if you live in a small property, recent video she did on planting in cardboard boxes, I myself have never had good luck with that, but I haven't tried it her way. And most of the things I try that she does, I've had good luck with it. So I'll probably try it next year. So basically, first fact is that when it gets to be time for there to be a lot of rain, is not the time for potatoes to be getting planted. And the other thing to know, the next thing to know is if you're going, oh, that one's split, got to use that one up right away. Okay, the next thing to know is got to get good seed potatoes. Now mine came from a company up north somewhere. Wood Prairie Farms, I believe was the name. And yeah, see, this one is already getting some start going. I can put this in a pot and see if I can grow in a pot. My other one I was trying to grow in a pot, the horn caterpillar pillar. You find them on tobacco and tomatoes. Well, they also like potatoes apparently. Okay. So for a box and for a container, put it in the bottom. Then you take your potatoes, like this little elbow white one here is putting up a little start like that. Or you have these guys putting up these. Okay, so you plant this just below the surface. Put a couple inches of dirt up on top of it. Keep it moist, not sopping wet, but moist. And then it'll grow and it'll come on up. And when you let it get a couple inches or about 1.5 inches, something like that, above the soil you put on top of it, then you put some more soil on top of it. And watch for it to peek up above the surface. And it takes, a couple weeks maybe for that to happen. Kind of depends on which variety of potato you're growing. Because I noticed some of mine out there in my raised bed, they popped up faster than others. So anyway, after about 3, maybe even 4 times, I think 3 is pretty much the rule of thumb, of it coming up and you having, the little leaves a few inches, above the surface, then you just let it go and it will flower. And if it's not raining out there again, let me get this little one up off the floor because it's got an eye on it. So anyway, I don't know. It's about maybe 2 months later, maybe a month, depends on the species. Probably 2 months that you see the flowers. Get out here and show you the flowers. And yeah, if I'm cutting in and out, I'm sorry. Good reception a lot out here. Okay, here's the mess that's going to go into the worm bin. I got to clean the worm bin out. And here's the potato flowers. And let's see. You got to watch out for, like, here's one of these stalks that went to mush. Yeah. Oh, apparently one of the hens have laid an egg. Oh, and the turkeys have been in here. Yep. And this is a potato that never got started, and this in here is just, it's mushy, it's slimy. So here's this piece of potato. It's mushy, it's slimy, it's starting to go yuck because of the rain. And that's what's happened to a lot of this. Just, yeah. So anyway, you gotta pay attention to the weather. That changes from year to year. There's the rest of these. I'm gonna have to get them harvested. I went inside the house because it was starting to growl around like we were gonna have a storm. So after the frost, hi Tuxie. After the frost, or after hard frost time is done, then you can put them in the ground. If you two nip me, you're going to be dying faster than you were planned on. Turkeys. You tell them, Tuxie. So yeah, you can either do it in a container. We did the raised beds this year and have had the best luck that we have had so far. So you put good soil in, you don't do acidic. I think that's one thing that kind of messed up with ours a little bit, is because one of the males in this household kind of misunderstood something I said. I said only put some of the shavings in, but don't put any of the cow or the chicken poop. And he just dumped part of the wagon in there with all of it. So they got a little burnt. And that may have hastened some of that turning brown and everything, but from the harvest that we've had, you know, it's not too bad. And yeah, a quick update. These are coming back. They're looking good. So tomorrow, unless it's pouring rain and creeks rising, these will go outside, and this is going to get a good watering, and see what happens. Trying these peat cups. And this might be a way of starting small potatoes in these peat cups, but I don't know, because peat is kind of a little bit acidic, and potatoes, my understanding is they like it more alkaline. So it might be good that whatever soil mix you put them in, that you test it. But most of the things that you get in bagged soil mixes are for gardening, vegetable gardening. You should be okay. So last thing I'm going to leave you with is, okay, these are the Elba Whites. These are the reds, Red Norlands, I believe. Okay, I need to turn a light on, but I don't really want to turn on a light. I've got some huckleberries in here too, somewhere. Yeah. Here's a little one. See, it's purple. And the last tip is, once you harvest your potatoes, you don't wash them off. You leave the dirt on them until you're actually going to use them. And you put them away from the light. You don't want your potatoes to turn green because that means it's got stuff in it. I don't remember exactly what it's called. My brain just went blank. Anyway, David the Good's got a video where he covers this about it make you sick to your stomach. So if they turn green, just hold them back and put them in the soil for growing your next crop, because that's okay to do. So it's important to have a couple inches of dirt always covering your potatoes, 2 to 4 inches covering over where the potatoes will grow, and then your stalks come up past that. Yeah, so as little light as possible so they don't turn green. Try to keep them in a fairly constant temperature. I don't know how it's going to work for me here because they are in my garage for now. Because we're doing a remodel in the kitchen, and then I may just put dirty potatoes in one of my cabinets and that'll be it. I don't know. Anybody got any good ideas on that? Put it in the comment section. So, yeah, thanks for sticking around for my meandering and clearly not knowing what I'm doing. I'm just making mistakes as I go and sharing them, and hopefully I can help my family member or anybody else that might learn something beneficial, even if it's what not to do. So, alrighty. Meantime, kick off your shoes and walk in the grass. It's good grounding for the soul. Okay, if I can think of anything else, I'll put it in the description thing. But right now, my brain's a blank. Later.